Hello everyone, with Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is 7:09 a.m. Saturday morning, July 6, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of these tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially for the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what the that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us have a look at the 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. So we can see that we don't have anything but Beryl. So there's a lot of rumor going around that, oh, there's another storm out there, Chris, Debbie. Guys, Chris died a long time ago. Chris crashed into Mexico and died a long time ago, but we still have Beryl. Debbie hasn't even formed yet, and it doesn't look like she's gonna be forming anytime soon at all. There's nothing to watch. No code yellow, no code orange, no code red. Nothing out there. So please dismiss those rumors. Stay informed. Listen to the Met Office. Listen to the National Hurricane Center. Stay tuned for more updates. Don't just run with persons and their rumors, because in this day and age, rumors are going to be circulating. Oh, there's another storm out there. Yeah, man, Mir to come. No, there's no other storm out there. Beryl is the only one right now, and she's still pushing west-northwestward, more northwestward than west-northwestward, to affect sections of the southern United States, Texas right there. We can see that as of the 4 a.m. update, as a matter of fact, I think we have the latest update. So that's the 4 a.m. This is the 7 a.m. Alright, so here we have the 7 a.m. update. She is packing maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour. What does that mean? If you have a look back at the wind scale right here, she is a code green. She's a tropical storm, packing winds of anywhere from 39 to 73 miles per hour, so 60 right in the middle. That makes her a tropical storm. So we know the drill. We have tropical depression, then storm. As a matter of fact, we have tropical waves, then tropical depressions, then storms, then category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how it works. And right now, Jamaica definitely getting in on some of that rainfall from a tropical wave. Either way, we see that the Hurricane Center has Beryl regaining strength back to an H that we know is a hurricane. Hopefully, it doesn't exceed that expectation like what we got in the Caribbean with the M that stands for major hurricane status of 110 mile per hour winds or more. Either way, we see that they have a hurricane watch right now in the pink color up for the Texas coast, as well as portion of northeastern Mexico. Alright, so if we remember the track of Beryl, we saw that she definitely passed to the south of the island, and she came very close to sections of Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth with her northern eye wall. So let us say Debbie is this pink circle right here that I have on the map. This is exactly what she did. She definitely crossed past to the south of us, but her northern eye wall, that we know has the strongest winds and heaviest rainfall, definitely brushed Clarendon, Manchester, and especially St. Elizabeth, which explains the ridiculous damage that we saw with her. And she's now over here, so I guess the models and the Hurricane Center definitely forecasted her perfectly. And we see it even better right here on this wind map. You know, the gold colors represent tropical storm force winds. I guess that's burgundy color, represents hurricane force winds, and we see that it definitely was a cross section of the southwestern portion of the island. So anywhere from Clarendon westward into even Westmoreland got in on some of the hurricane force wind gusts. And remember, these hurricane force wind gusts were category 4 strength, 130 to 156 mile per hour sustained winds, which explains all the damage that we saw coming out of St. Elizabeth, and persons wondering How is it that Kingston, the other parishes, didn't really get it like that? That's because it's more so tropical storm force winds we're getting. We're getting this right here. The system is so small that it only had the category 4 winds around its center, while it had more tropical storm force winds more than anything in its farther reaches. So we're indeed grateful that we got in on this, but we saw that we still experience damage with tropical storm force winds. So we don't want any storm bigger than Beryl at all, because if Beryl was a bit bigger, big like Gilbert, because trust me, Gilbert was big in size, and even far out the winds were pretty strong, I am sure. But as I said before, we have a lot of hurricane season left. It's just July. We know the peak is August through to October. Hopefully, we don't have any more systems that take it into the Caribbean like this. Hopefully, everything turns northward. And I'll definitely be here to keep you all posted just in case. Alright, so before I start talking about the tropical wave that's affecting the island, I must mention this post from Ben Knoll. It's very important. If you don't know, Ben Knoll is actually a meteorologist at the National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research in New Zealand. And from time to time, he makes some very accurate posts about the Atlantic hurricane season. I remember I was definitely following him in 2020 regarding all the hurricanes that we had, and he is very accurate. So, he made this post on May 30, and he stated that the latest subseasonal guidance shows a convective pulse in green reaching and lingering over the Atlantic from the second week of June through the rest of the month. So he was stating that something would have happened starting the second week regarding convective pulse in green. Convective pulse, what is that? Either way, we're seeing it right here on this GIF. So this is it. So from the second week of June, this is June 7 through to June 14. And what do we see across portions of the Atlantic? Some of these blues, green colors right here across our region. And this is convective forcing. This is rising air. This is what these thunderstorms love in order to formulate and become hurricanes like what we had with Beryl. And that was exactly what happened, because as we even head even more into the month of June, so June 14 to June 21, we saw it even getting more pronounced with those darker blues or greens. And then even June 21 to June 29, we saw it still remaining over our neck of the woods. And I talk about that because he just made another post, and it's quite concerning. He stated, "What's up next for the Atlantic after Beryl? The interseasonal state looks unfavorable for development through mid-July, but convective forcing will likely return to the basin after and Africa from late July into early August, increasing the chance of tropical storms and hurricanes." So he's stating that as of right now, into the latter part of July or into mid-July, we should be receiving more sinking air, as we can see by these orange and deep green colors right here. But he's also stating that as we head into the latter part of the month, the second half, so this is July 19 to July 26, what do we start to see? We start to see more rising air. Where's all of this rising air located? Somewhere across the Indian Ocean, Africa, Australia. And we know all of these tropical waves are pushing from east to west across Africa into the main development region. We can definitely see the rising air right here, even although we still have some sinking air right here across the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico. But all of this is pushing westward. So all of these tropical waves definitely going to be, coming in with a bang. We might get some more systems, especially considering that that's the peak of the season. Here it is, July 26, August 3, still have much of the same across the Atlantic. Rising air starting to come back in. And if we even take a look here at this map, he made a post highlighting how accurate the 2020 forecast was for rainfall. We know the greens represent all the rainfall. The reds or browns represents drier than normal conditions. And if you remember 2020 hurricane season, it was very wet. We had a lot of rainfall coming in from the main development region, a lot of rainfall across Jamaica. But what's concerning is that this is for 2020, July to September 2020. And this is for July to September 2024. Now, this is going to be ridiculous if it actually comes to fruition. We're only, 6 days into July, and we're already seeing the bad weather. We just had Beryl. Now we're getting a tropical wave with a lot of rainfall. So we might just wrap up the month with some, tremendous rainfall taking place. But keep in mind that this is valid for July, August, and September. So we might not necessarily get all of this in July. It could be spread out into August and September as well. Either way, we need to be prepared. The warm waters of the Atlantic, we've been talking about them since the year begun, and they are definitely the driver of all of the bad weather that we're experiencing. The rainfall, the storm systems, the hurricanes, whatever the case may be. We see Jamaica right here embedded in these darker green, so it's a lot of rainfall to come between now and September. So hopefully you all get yourself ready, get yourself prepared, ensure that you have your tank with water ready, a lot of bottles to collect rainwater. I'm pretty sure that southwestern St. Elizabeth or southern St. Elizabeth is going to be going through what most of us feared, but luckily we didn't get in on the brunt of those hurricane force winds. We got more of those tropical storm force winds than anything else. Alright, so let's switch gears and talk about the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening. We can see that the tropical wave that was to the east of the island yesterday has now pushed off to the west of the island, but we know the backside of these tropical waves definitely pack a punch, and we're going to be in for a lot of rainfall today. We see another tropical wave right here to the east of the Caribbean, and another tropical wave just exited the coast of Africa. And we know all of these are pushing from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure right there. We refer to it as the Bermuda Azores High, and we know they're sending all of these systems from east to west, not to mention the Saharan dust from Africa. If we take a look at the visible satellite images as the sun is starting to come up, so let's reload these so that we have the latest. Alright, so we can definitely see the flow of these low level clouds pushing from east to west, all courtesy of the ridge of high pressure. We see that we have the tropical wave right here outlined even better across the waters to the northeast of South America. The other tropical wave right here to the west of Africa. The tropical wave that's affecting Jamaica. We see the mass of clouds associated with this tropical wave. We see some clouds spinning right here. This is what we call an upper level low pressure, a trough of low pressure right there. The upper level winds are definitely spinning in a circular pattern. We can definitely see that. And we see the clouds, showers, and thunderstorms associated with that. And here we have Beryl spinning away in the Gulf of Mexico. If we take a look at a close-up of what's happening regarding the tropical wave near Jamaica and reload these images, we can see the thunderstorms that have definitely been plaguing sections of Jamaica from last night, and we definitely have a lot more taking place. Look at this mass of clouds. We see this is normal to see the clouds and the thunderstorms die down, then throughout the day they regenerate and bring more thunderstorms. There's definitely going to be a lot of flash flooding taking place. We see some thunderstorms right there to the south of eastern Cuba. Some of this rainfall definitely last sections of Haiti last night. And we can also see some clouds, showers, and thunderstorms coming into sections of Honduras, sections of Costa Rica as well. And the rainfall was predicted in our live stream yesterday. We're pleased to announce that we had our first live stream on YouTube yesterday. And when we have some more bad weather, tropical waves, tropical depressions, hopefully no tropical storms or hurricanes, I'll definitely be doing more live streams. I remember back in the day, I used to do a lot of live streams on my YouTube gaming page. I used to play a lot of video games with my online friends in Europe and America. And I used to live stream, but I grew out of the live streaming, not grew out of the video gaming. Definitely still video game when I have the time. But the live streaming, not so much. But I'm gonna bring it back, especially considering my home internet. It's fast and it can very much handle it. So in our live stream, we definitely spoke about the tropical wave and the fact that it will have brought a lot of rainfall to sections of southern and eastern parishes, and we even highlighted it in this post yesterday. For those persons who didn't get to see the live stream, it states heavy rainfall is forecast for parts of Jamaica, especially eastern and southern parishes, from tonight, which was Friday night, to the morning of Sunday, July 7, 2024. Isolated flash flooding is possible. If you must go out, bring an umbrella and avoid flooded roads. Stay safe. So we know that it's definitely going to be easier to flood, considering that we just had the passage of Beryl. So the ground is already saturated, easier for us to, be inundated in general. Either way, we know southern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on the bottom. So Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas. Well, eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey. So Portland, Kingston, St. Andrew, St. Thomas as well. And what ended up happening? As early as last night, this post was made on our Twitter page at 8:10 p.m. Keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we make posts throughout the day that you can't afford to miss, from streams of the Weather Channel and their weather updates to what's going on with TVJ News, CVM News. We know a lot of persons still don't have electricity. We know a lot of persons are overseas and are wondering if their relatives or friends are okay. So I'm just doing a little service just before the all the barrel talk stops and we get to regular programming with all of the usual news. So just until the barrel talk stops, then I'll stop doing the live streams of those TV channels. Either way, we can definitely see on the Doppler radar images that we had some very heavy rainfall last night. We know the heavy rainfall is represented by the yellows, the gold, even close to some orange colors, as you can see by the Cuban Doppler radar image here. And where do we see that? Across the same spots that got the heavy rainfall, well, the bad weather associated with Hurricane Beryl. Southern Clarendon, look at that. Manchester, St. Elizabeth got the brunt of the heavy rainfall last night. Eastern Jamaica was definitely getting in on that rainfall since the morning of Friday. I live in St. Thomas and I've definitely been getting in on that heavy rainfall from Friday morning. Definitely some decent rainfall. I think this is one of the wettest tropical waves I've seen since the season began, and there's a lot more rainfall to come. So we even had another post overnight, 2:15 a.m. and we still saw that we had the thunderstorms coming into sections of the southern and eastern portions of the island. With that moist east-southeasterly flow, it makes sense that those areas are getting in on the brunt of the rainfall. And we definitely have some confirmation from some of our followers with the rainfall that was being experienced. On our Twitter page, we have government named Jennings stating yes, Maple Clarendon a washway. Another comment here on our Facebook page, Shanique Cassandra, heavy rain in Maple Clarendon. Then we had them still a scamway. Bull Bay being impacted by intermittent heavy rain since yesterday. However, it's been heavier, even heavier, for over an hour now. Sir D had rain last night, but now it's okay. Sun trying to come out. I doubt it's gonna come out. Penfield, light rain, intermittent wind. Lady Musgrave, Dacia, if I'm not butchering your name, it rained from 6 p.m. Friday the 5th and all night until after 5 a.m. Saturday 6. Sky still overcast, like it's coming soon again. Definitely coming soon again. Today is gonna be a wet one. Also had Leo Queen, lots of rain in Spanish Town at the moment. Zara, pretty bad, a heck of a lot of wind, some rain, lightning since last night. Another comment here, raining in Kingston. The Earl of Portmore, it's raining in Portmore. Even on our Instagram page, we had the comments coming in. KK Sweets 2 stating, clouds are about to burst in Portmore. Shani Armame stating, just started raining in Spain. 1876 Bay, raining in East Kingston for 2 hours now. Thompson Caris, raining in the east. Mona underscore GH underscore CA, start dating. A lot of rain in Kingston. Rennie underscore Rebel, just wake and hear rain out a door, Spain. I am Sashi raining in May Pen. SDH Berry stating raining here on Halfway Tree Road since noon yesterday. And finally, we have cute underscore bay underscore Sanson. Lovely windows, wide open rain, breeze a roll in cause JPS decides that we have to bounce in a dark. Wonderful reprieve to the heat. Linko.Inbridge 1975, raining in Longville Park, Clarendon. And if you notice, it's mainly some southern and eastern parishes getting the brunt. So who knows, maybe that commenter who said that sun might be coming out, it could be right. Maybe he's in a northern and western parish that we see is clearer than anything else. As a matter of fact, let us look. We're going to be looking at the latest visible and infrared satellite images soon, but if we take a look at the past 24 hours regarding the rainfall that we had from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, this is showing all the rainfall that we received so far up to this point. And we see that majority of it has definitely been across sections of some southern and eastern parishes. So not much rainfall across the north or the west at all. So I guess we're starting to make up for all the rainfall that they've been getting. And we're starting to get in on it on the southern and eastern side. And we're indeed grateful for that. We'll definitely take the rainfall. We don't like the heat. We don't like the water restrictions. We know that some persons are definitely reeling from Beryl right now. Hopefully they can, get to shelters. And then we know all of this rainfall is going to be done very soon, especially considering the sinking air that's expected during the first half of July. So we're going to be out of rain as soon as this tropical wave passes. We're going to be begging for the rain to come by, especially with the heat that's expected. July is one of the hottest months of the year. Either way, if we take a live look at the Crossroads cam, we see that it is definitely drizzling. Definitely had a wet night into early morning. Same on the cam that's overlooking Kingston and looking towards the west. You can see the National Stadium, New Kingston. Definitely a cloudy morning, some light rainfall. Halfway Tree cam showing something similar. And keep in mind that you can see more live streams like this on See Jamaica's YouTube channel. If you don't know by now, we have a partnership with that channel, so ensure that you visit them. Alright, so let us take a look at the latest visible satellite images of Jamaica. So we just talked about what was predicted and what happened. Let's talk about what's happening right now. So we can definitely see that as of the latest visible satellite image, we have more clouds than anything across the southern portion of the island and the eastern portion of the island. So this image is as of 26 minutes past the hour. So this is as of 7:26, considering that it's 7:31 a.m. right now. So this is the latest image. We still have some clouds bring overcast skies to Portland, St. Thomas. Some thunderstorms definitely affecting sections of Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, definitely getting in on the brunt of it. Section of St. Catherine might be getting in on it as well. If we match the visible satellite images to the infrared satellite images, first of all, we know the high cold cloud tops are represented by the blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, and the blacks within those reds. Not to mention the sparkling white dots that represent an amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. And if we stop it right there at the end, so this is the latest infrared satellite image as of 15 minutes past the hour. So we see that this one is a bit nearer in time. This one is a bit, further out in time. But either way, we still see now we have the thunderstorms right there. Definitely lashing section of Manchester and Clarendon as we speak. Keep in mind that this is 7:32 a.m. and this is valid for the 7:15 p.m. satellite images. So they're definitely getting in on that if these clouds haven't died down as yet. And I'm definitely sure that it's going to be reflecting on the latest Cuban Doppler radar images. So let's reload the images so that we have the latest. Alright, just waiting for it to reload. It hasn't reloaded as yet, but we definitely see. Alright, so it has reloaded now, and it's going to be showing all the way up to 8:30 a.m. that's Eastern Standard Time in Cuba, which is actually 7:30 a.m. Jamaica time. So the latest image just came out 3 minutes ago, and we can definitely see that Clarendon is definitely getting it the worst as we speak. Look at the yellows, look at the golds that represent heavy rainfall lashing Clarendon. Sections of Manchester and southern St. Elizabeth definitely getting on more greens than anything else. So a bit moderate, could be getting heavy at times. Section of St. Catherine, section of Kingston St. Andrew, Portland St. Thomas getting in on the mix. And this should continue throughout the day today. Before we head into the forecast, let's talk about the temperatures. Thankfully, the temperatures aren't hot this morning, 26 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. And we should be receiving average temperatures throughout the day, if not below average, as we can see here. This map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Saturday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Saturday, and we see Jamaica right here, embedded in more gray colors than anything else. I will know the gray colors from the key on the right represents average or normal temperature, so it's not way above normal, and it could be even cooler than normal. As a matter of fact, it's already cooler than normal. So average temperatures for the month of July, 91 degrees Fahrenheit. When we take a look at the thermometer, 91 degrees Fahrenheit is about the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 or less across the island for Saturday's forecast temperature. As it relates to the wave forecast, we see that majority of the Caribbean should be getting in on those blues that represent 1 to 1.5 meter wave heights. Jamaica as well. Well, we have those 2 to what? Close to 9 meter wave height, where we have tropical storm Beryl across the Gulf of Mexico. It all makes sense because the winds across the Atlantic are causing that to happen. We can see around Beryl as the strongest winds, up to the 60 mile per hour winds that are tropical storm force, spinning away right there across the Gulf of Mexico. While the rest of the Caribbean getting in on those greens and some slight yellows that we can see by the key on the bottom right that represent anywhere from 15 to 20 to 25 knots. And we see the general direction across the eastern Caribbean from the east, curving northwards, so more of a southeasterly flow into Jamaica right there. And keep in mind that all of these winds that are pushing from east to west across the basin are definitely pushing the Saharan dust as well, and we see the Saharan dust forecast right here. As a matter of fact, let's go back so that we have the latest forecast. This is showing Friday. We already went through Friday, so let's go in time through to Saturday. So this is as of 2 p.m. today. Alright, right here, 2 p.m. So we definitely see that even behind the tropical wave, we have some browns that represent the Saharan dust. It's already plaguing portion of the eastern Caribbean. Jamaica should be right here under the word port. So we're getting in on more lighter shades of browns than anything else. The Saharan dust is here, but it's not even going to be noticeable, especially with the rainfall that's lashing us. We can even see another strong plume of dust right here coming off of the coast of Africa. That's some vigorous plume that can cause very hazy skies, trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some people. That's what we don't want at all. If we take a look at the close-up of Jamaica regarding the winds, we can see that there's definitely going to be some strong winds, and we see the general direction, if not from the east-southeast, coming in more so from the southeast across the island. And we definitely see the wind speeds greens, bright greens into the yellows that represent 15 to 20 knots up to 25, maybe even gusting to 30 knots in some spot. This tropical wave is definitely going to be doing a number on us. So all of the rainfall coming in from the sea, it makes sense that St. Thomas, Portland, section of southern Jamaica, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Elizabeth are getting in on the rainfall. All of this is coming from the sea. Either way, during the afternoon, we're going to be getting some of that rainfall to affect sections of the north. It's only normal that that happens. So it's definitely going to be pushing westward and northward as well. It always does during the afternoon. So expect that rainfall. And let's finally talk about where the rainfall is expected and at what time. So we already see that it's raining. So no surprise there. But there's still a lot more rainfall to come. This map from the Euro and this map from GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected by around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 9 a.m. Jamaica time. And we see the consensus that we still have rainfall across eastern and central or southern Jamaica. Euro a bit more robust than the GFS. Skipping ahead to about 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 2 p.m. Jamaica time, we see the Euro has more of Western Jamaica in the mix, but still has Southern and Eastern Jamaica getting in on the brunt of the rainfall like what the GFS has. GFS not so enthused about having Western Jamaica getting on the rain, but we know they're definitely going to be getting it. All of this is pushing west northwestward. And even by this evening, this is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 7 p.m. Jamaica time, we still see a lot of blues that represent rainfall, if not surrounding the island, across portions of the island. So we still have a lot more rainfall to come. The blues, the greens, that represent a lot of millimeters of rainfall, and the accumulated precipitation forecast confirms this. This map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Saturday. And we can see the darker reds and even some slight purples in there that represent what, up to 2 inches of rainfall, maybe even close to 3, especially in St. Thomas, Eastern right there. So we're definitely going to be getting in on that, especially considering that both the Euro and the GFS are in consensus that the southern and eastern portion of the island are going to be getting on the brunt of the weather. And we'll take it. We're actually in the month of July. Look at what we're normally expecting during this month. Less rainfall than the other months. We're actually in our secondary dry season period in a way. We know that the hurricane season runs from June to November, but there is usually a little dry season in Jamaica. As we can see here, these records show climatology. The bar graph at the top shows Kingston. The bar graph at the bottom shows Montego Bay. And we know this map is showing millimeters for Kingston. This map is showing inches for Montego Bay. But we know the drill. As a matter of fact, let's go back to the Hurricane Center's website so that we can see exactly what it all means. So we can see right here, I like that they installed this map. Well, it's not showing here, but either way, we know 1 inch of rainfall represents up to what, 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you do the math. 1 inch represents 25 millimeters. Clearly Kingston is getting what, 50 millimeters of rainfall. That's usually expected for the month of July. Montego Bay usually gets up to 3 inches of rainfall during the month of July, if not 3.1, something thereabout. So that's about what, 75 millimeters of rainfall, if I'm not mistaken. And for Kingston, it's like 2 inches of rainfall. So clearly Montego Bay gets more rainfall than Kingston during this month. Either way, we see that there's less rainfall for both cities in Jamaica during the month of July. So yes, we'll take the rainfall that we're currently getting, because we know that when the sun is out and the heat is out and the National Water Commission is saying, oh, there's no water, so water restrictions are going to be taking place, we know that we just have to take the rainfall. It's better to get the rainfall than none at all. Remember the bad drought we had in 2015. We don't want that again at all. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So we can see that portions of the eastern Caribbean are getting on some low-level patches of clouds coming in from the east, some isolated showers. Section of northern South America, as usual, incorporating the intertropical convergence zone, the tropical waves, getting in on some rainfall. Suriname, French Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador. And if we take a look at the northeastern Caribbean, we can definitely make out what's happening. Not much taking place as we speak, just some stray light showers here and there are in and around Puerto Rico to the east of Guadeloupe. The Barbados radar should be showing more rainfall, those stray showers from the east, passing more so towards the north of Barbados, but we can't rule out some of this actually making it into eastern Barbados as the day progresses. Sections of St. Lucia getting on that rainfall right now, maybe a section of northern St. Vincent too. And if we zoom out, we can definitely see some rainfall coming in to possible section of eastern Trinidad later on today. We see all of that rainfall coming in from the east. If we take a look at the wider view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall that portion of Jamaica have been getting in on. Sections of the waters to the south of the Cayman Islands associated with the tropical wave. Some rainfall right there on the that island to the east of Nicaraguan radar. Definitely getting in on that rainfall. Don't remember what this island is called at all, but there's definitely rainfall there. We also see rainfall right there to the south of the ABC Islands. We also see some rainfall right there on the coast of Suriname and to the north of French Guyana associated with the other tropical wave. If we take a look at the actual rainfall that's expected, within the next 24 hours for majority of the Caribbean, we see the consensus that there's going to be rainfall for sections of southern Florida, Bahamas, sections of Cuba, sections of Haiti, Dominican Republic, more so some isolated shores for sections of Puerto Rico, the Eastern British Virgin Islands, sections of Antigua and Barbuda, Guadeloupe, section of Trinidad and Tobago, even here south of there, because of Suriname, French Guyana, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, and the Yucatan Peninsula. Even section of the Cayman Islands will be getting on that rainfall too. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with the rainfall forecast. And we know that when they're in agreement like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching.